Hello and welcome to a special edition of the short Vort live from Gan Succhar in Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. This week's Parsha is Parsha's Balak. This Devar Torah is based on words that I heard quoting Rav Gedalia Shor in the name of Yeshua Leib Diskin, the Maharal Diskin. The Gemara in Baba Basra tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu wrote the Sefer Torah, he wrote Parshas Bilam, and he wrote Sefer Eov. The question is, isn't Bilam's Parsha part of the Sefer Torah? Why is it listed separately? To get the reason for this, we'll have to explain a few different points. It says that Bilam was a Navi on the same level as Moshe Rabbeinu, which is kind of surprising given that one was a Rasha and Moshe Rabbeinu was a Tzaddik. So what does this mean? So Nevuos were given to most Nevi'im through a riddle. It was not direct, it was unclear, they had to interpret it, it came at night. Moshe Rabbeinu could say get his Nevuah at any time in the day, and it would be clear to him. It was Aspaklaya Hameira, it was a clear vision. There was no interpretation involved, it was direct and complete as Hashem had instructed him. Other Nevi'im, though, two people could have the same different prophecy, and yet they interpret it differently. There's a chatzitza, a separation of a nevuah when it comes through some other navi that's not Baspaklaria Hameira, and therefore it goes through the nefesh, and things come not exactly as they were intended, but they can come and they're interpreted the way the navi wants to interpret. He can influence his nevuah. And because Nevi'im can see it differently, that's why the leader at the time of Yirmiyahu HaNavi and Huldah HaNaviya chose to give a certain nevuah via Huldah, because she would have more Rahmanas. Because whatever is the nevuah goes by the past, the same thing by a dream. The one who interprets it first can influence what happens for good or for bad. So Bilam thought that, well, he'll say what Hashem wants to say in the nevuah, but he would interpret it into his own improper ideas. Therefore, Hashem gave him a nevuah via Spaklaria Hameira, not because he deserved it, but out of necessity. This way, because it was all clear to him, there was no chance for him to change things and influence. It had to be exactly as Hashem directed it. And in that respect, he was like Moshe Rabbeinu. So, in order to be in the Torah, something had to be written through Moshe, who was told the Torah by a Spaklaria Hameira. So even Avraham Avinu's actions went into the Torah only through the prism of the refraction of Moshe Rabbeinu. But the words of Bilam, since they were also Spaklaria Hameira, they didn't need the refraction of Moshe Rabbeinu. So that's what this Gemara in Baba Basra is telling us, that Moshe wrote the Torah as well as the Parsha Bilam that was not needed to be through the fraction of Moshe Rabbeinu in any case. So there you have it. It was only out of necessity that Bilam was considered like Moshe Rabbeinu, so that he would not be able to do bad to the Jews. And because of that power, Moshe was the one who wrote it in the Torah, even though it didn't have to be refracted through Moshe Rabbeinu. So have a wonderful week and wonderful Shabbat Shalom.